Welcome back, listeners, to another enlightening episode of Cosmic Conscious Podcast, where we explore the limitless nature of the universe, the mind, and the soul. I'm your host, Sana, and today we are diving deep into the transformative power of meditation, not just as a practice, but as a bridge between the physical and the cosmic. And to help me with this conversation, we have a truly fascinating guest, Blair Abee. Well, I'll share a bit about Blair with all of you listeners. He is an author, poet, educator, and consultant, but more than that, an ordinary mystique. He has written 5 award winning books, all available on Amazon, along with numerous articles on meditation, manifestation, and consciousness. And Blair describes himself as an explorer, someone who has ventured into the depths of the human potential to uncover tools, techniques, and wisdom that can elevate our lives. His journey includes developing the higher consciousness meditation, a method born out of deep personal trials, including a high stakes corporate battle that led him to rediscover meditation as a source of strength, clarity, and profound transformation. And today, on this episode, we'll be unpacking meditation's role in spiritual evolution, sacred traditions, and direct soul contact. And we'll also challenge some common beliefs along the way as well. So, whether you are a seasoned meditator or just beginning your journey, you won't want to miss this conversation. So, with that, Blair, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute honor having you with us today.
Well, thank you so much. I've been looking forward to our conversation.
Lovely, lovely. Okay, so Blair, let's quickly jump onto the topic on meditation. So, most of the people think meditation as simply a relaxation technique or a tool or a practice to have clarity in your mind and have positive thoughts and a good health. Uh,
Yes.
Way to relieve stress. So, but you describe it as something much more, a bridge between the human and the cosmic, even a means of soul contact. So,
Yes.
can you expand on this for all of us?
Sure. Well, you're right. I mean, most people do think of meditation as a relaxation technique, a way to de-stress. Um, and meditation has a lot of benefits as it relates to mental healing and physical healing and even spiritual healing. But what I discovered in my own mm, exploration of meditation, beginning about 8 years ago, as you said, I took a deep dive into my meditation practice because of traumatic, um, job situation. Um, I began to have a sense of the of the cosmic, of higher consciousness, and I realized in a way, I mean, I've been meditating, gosh, for almost 50 years, but I'd really never had that experience of what I would call soul contact or that contact with my higher self, and it was startling in a way because um I was doing sort of a sacred, a journaling, process for myself for healing from the trauma that I had had, and all of a sudden, one night, just began to get a sense of spirit just kind of flowing through my fingers and onto the keyboard, um, and after a few nights of that, I began to realize, well, this is really um, contact with my higher self and or with my soul. And information was coming through that just wasn't common to me. It was much more expansive and it was much more penetrating. And it was much more spiritual than anything that I'd ever done. Um, and after about 200,000 words of this kind of journaling, I realized I had material for books, and that was the genesis of becoming an author, which I never intended to do. It was also a kind of a new experience. Um, and I began to realize, among other things, that my soul, if you will, my higher self, had been waiting years and years for me to just wake up and realize that that was just available in any moment that I turned my attention to it. Um, that probably my soul had been waiting lifetimes, for me to begin to wake up and to be receptive, if you will, to the messages that are available from that part of yourself if you're open to it. Whether you do it with, just words or impressions that come into your consciousness, or whether you're doing, as I was doing, journaling, which really works for me, um, or just delving into a meditation practice that goes beyond just relaxation, but actually gives you a sense of who you are as an eternal being. And that's what I have come to realize, is we're all eternal beings occupying these biomechanical vehicles that we drive around with this onboard computer that's chattering, 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 chattering constantly, and has our attention, you know, all day, every day, uh, worrying about the past, worrying about the future, and, uh, not in the moment, and just enjoying just being in the moment and being a spiritual being. So, this was really the genesis of the, realizations, understandings, ideas, that have appeared in the books that I've written.
That was really, really beautiful, really beautiful. And I definitely believe that uh, we know about our body, we know about our mind, this the CPU, uh, which
Yeah,
drives the motherboard, which drives all the functions.
yes,
But the connection with the soul, I think in this fast-paced life, we seldom even think about it. We do not have an active conversation with ourselves.
right,
And sometimes there are ways, or there are signs through which our soul is trying to converse with us, talk to
yes,
us.
right.
Uh, and meditation, definitely, I think it definitely acts as that bridge that establishes that connection.
That's right, opens the pathway, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, uh and I think what I've come to realize also is that meditation is the most direct path, because it
Mm.
gets your mind out of the way and allows soul to come through, or allows spirit to come through. Um, we're so indoctrinated, even hypnotized, if you will, from birth, that this is a difficult three-dimensional world, and we have to strive and struggle, and our minds are in charge. Um, and we don't get much training from anybody around us, parents, teachers, of people who themselves know and understand the spiritual nature of humanity. Um, and so many of us are just never exposed to the deeper teachings, for example, of our master teachers like Krishna and Jesus and Lao Tzu and Buddha and so forth. Um, religions end up being um, just disconnected from the teacher and the teaching that was there, which was, here, I've had this amazing experience myself,
Mhm.
and I'd like to point you in the direction of that same experience. But instead, we put them on pedestals like they're gods, and unreachable. And the message that they had to offer us, which was, the kingdom of heaven is within you, as Jesus said, um, is lost and not accessible. So that's, I think, really the value of meditation is you become your own guru, if you will. You become your own teacher, and you begin to develop a really close relationship with your higher self, or with your soul, in a way that becomes your best friend and accessible to you at any moment that you turn your attention to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In Bhagavad Gita, uh, I think there's a lot to talk about it, but a specific part which I was kind of it gave me so much of surprise, and it kind of forced me to do a lot of self introspection about understanding our inner being. It should
Yes.
always be in the pristine state, and it gives you all those insights. It gives you the
Yes.
ability to see past the nervousness of the mind. So
Right.
I think that is the meditative part of yourself. That is the truest part of yourself.
I think so. You know, I mean, the interesting thing is that I think we're slowly evolving in that direction, and more people are getting in touch, doing meditation and getting in touch with that part of themselves. Um, but in these times, it becomes almost imperative that humanity begin to evolve faster so that we can deal with the issues and problems that we have. I mean, climate change is huge, and it's going to be, um, even worse as time goes on. And unless we begin to realize that we are spiritual beings and that we're all connected and that we've all got to work together, and for all of us to survive, if we don't begin to take a bigger view, if we don't wake up, if you will, from our childishness in a way to our adult, um, and five-dimensional self, um, we're in for a rough ride.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I understand. It's not about creating some kind of anxiety or fear, but understanding the reality here.
That's right, exactly.
We are seeing the after effects. We are seeing the climate changes. We are seeing widespread fires. We are seeing abnormal temperatures, erratic weather patterns, and nature doesn't discriminate when it comes to you know having that balance. To create something, you have to destroy something. It's has always been the way, um, and nature doesn't think about the damage in the way. When it has to create that balance, then there has to be some collateral damage as well. So that's, I think, a very, very important point you put up. Great, great, Abby. Also, you refer to yourself as an ordinary mystic,
Yes.
and I love that phrase. What does it mean to you, and how does it influence your approach to meditation and teaching others?
Um, well, to me, a mystic is somebody who seeks and finds spiritual truth.
Mhm.
So not just seeking, but then find some spiritual truth. So I have a sense that I found spiritual truth, in a way, uh, that then I've been able to bring back the truth that I found as a result of my own exploration and share it in my books. But I don't see myself as a guru. I don't see myself as anything other than just an average, ordinary person who's kind of blessed in a way to have had experiences that were extraordinary for me and are kind of extraordinary for most people, to have that breakthrough into fifth dimensional reality, into soul consciousness. Um, so I think that's really where my notion about ordinary mystic comes from, is that it's available to anybody. Um, you have to find kind of a path of some sort. Meditation, I think, is one of the most direct paths, but there are other kinds of activities that you can embark on. I mean, you can do, yoga, or you can do Tai Chi. You can do service to others. I mean, there are many ways that you can begin to contact into that higher consciousness part of yourself. and everybody has to find their own path. Um, but that's where um, soul contact is so valuable, because with soul contact comes guidance from your soul and becomes a relationship with the mystic part of yourself, um, that you can really completely trust, um, to be a good guide. So, I'll say in the morning, for example, as I'm waking up and getting up, I'll say to my soul, I'll say, you know, I ask for the best possible outcome of this day. Or I ask for the best possible outcome of the meeting that I'm about to go into, or into the podcast that I'm about to enter into. Um, and then pause and get a sense that the connection is made, kind of a sense of spirit, moving, if you will, or being engaged, and then thank my soul for its participation in my life. It's one of the best manifestation exercises that I've come across in my study. And it came through in a meditation one evening, that, oh, here is the way to do manifestation. Don't try and create something out of your brain, but instead allow your soul to be the source of manifestation for you, because your soul knows what you need even better than you do. Your soul is more likely to come through and to provide things that you didn't even imagine, or um put aside the vision boards, technique, and instead just allow, spirit to be your guide as it relates to bringing to you the good people, things, circumstances that you need in your life. And don't be so concerned about it, but allow that to happen. So, using this, I ask for the best possible outcome related to the transportation need that I have, not a specific car, not a new BMW appearing in your driveway tomorrow, but a form of, you might need a truck rather than a car, whatever that needs and happens to be, and allow um, higher consciousness or soul to help you uh, unfold those things that you need and want.
Lovely, lovely. And then from this, uh, I'll get back to this. And
Yes.
but before that, since we were talking about higher consciousness, and we'll also delve into something you developed, higher consciousness meditation. I think circling back to climate change,
Yes.
I think our relationship with the earth reflects our collective awareness, and
Right.
in many ways, the environmental destruction that we are witnessing today,
Yes.
I think it's a um, visualization or manifestation of our disconnect from the deeper intelligence of nature.
Yes.
So, uh, connecting with this, um, you developed the high consciousness meditation, and you went through an incredibly challenging period in your life as well, Blair. So, if you can walk us through this, I mean, what exactly does make it unique, and how does it differ from any other traditional method of meditation?
I understand. Um, I developed higher consciousness meditation really out of my understanding that not only is meditation valuable, but again, as we were talking about earlier, as a way to become more peaceful, but as a way um, to establish soul contact. So, higher consciousness meditation is really an exercise that's intended to open um, a, open a person up to higher consciousness, to soul contact, and even to a sense of um, our eternal beingness related to the eternal beingness of the universe. So that whole sense of oneness with the all, that sense um, of and I don't like to use the word God because it has so many connotations to it. It can get real confusing based on people's religions and all of that. So I like to use the term the all, but that's really the purpose of higher consciousness meditation is to be become aware of the all and to become aware of our soul and to have an experience. And that's really what it's about is to have an experience of your eternal beingness. I have an experience of the eternality, the allness of the universe. Um, and so its purpose is really different than mind training, which is the purpose of most meditation processes or most meditation techniques is to try and quieten the mind down. Well, this is intended to kind of bypass mind training and get you directly to an experience of illumination. And that it's the experience that once you have that experience, it's like a door opens, or the light shines in the room, through the window, finally, in the darkness. Um, and, when that begins to happen, you don't wanna go back to being asleep. You wanna become more and more awake more and more of the time. So, higher consciousness meditation, using, um, mindfulness practices during the day. So I do my higher conscious meditation in the morning, in the evening, and then I use mindfulness practices during the day to kind of stay tuned up and to remember. I have a little 3x5 card that just says Christ consciousness on it or Krishna consciousness. So you could do it as a Hindu. Um, and I have it close by just as a reminder. I have a little angel hanging by the door as I go out the door, out of the house. I just touch the angel. It's just a reminder. It's a little trigger, to just remember to remember who you are.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That is so beautiful. Great. And coming back to the state of uh, flow and about the different types of meditation we see, I think it has deep roots in sacred traditions, like Hinduism or Buddhism or Taoism. And in Taoism we often talk about the importance of water, the state of your flow, and as
Yes.
you mentioned, Christian mysticism. Yet, I think there have been so many connotations or modern adaptations. Something, for example, like in corporate wellness programs, or
Yes.
just simply through any kind of app or guided meditation. So do you think, Blair, that something gets lost when we strip meditation from its spiritual roots?
I think so. Um, what but again, if traditional meditation practices, including corporate applications or all kinds of applications, if they're based in having people become more peaceful, productive, interactive, creative, I mean, that's all well and good. However, there is the deeper application of that, which again, even most meditation teachers don't know about or don't teach about if they know it, um, because it's or for whatever reason. I think mostly they just don't know about it. So in a corporate setting, you wouldn't get somebody saying to you, um, one of the benefits of doing meditation is getting in touch with your soul. I mean, that would be a little bit woo woo, in a corporate setting. So I don't know that it's lost. It's just not found yet. But it is a potential outcome of somebody doing meditation for personal healing. Uh, One of the possible outcomes is if you take a deep dive into it, if you use some good techniques that are intended to have the outcome be soul contact or illumination, then that's possible and that's available. That's just kind of like the next step beyond just feeling good is a, just a sense of who you are, a sense of your beingness, a sense of your connection with eternity. And I think that's what Bhagavad Gita was teaching, the Bible was teaching. That's where I think all of our teachers were Christ conscious. They were illumined. They were enlightened. Um, and that to me is the ultimate goal of meditation, whereas peacefulness and productivity and um, creativity and also are interim steps, let's say.
I agree. I agree with that analysis. And before we wrap up, Blair, of course, uh, a lot of people what they will say or they have said that I have tried meditating, but I just can't do it. I can't
Yes.
sit. I can't quiet my mind or my thoughts. And same thing. I I would also have said that. So I
Right.
pick up. Uh, what would you say to those who feel like meditation just isn't for them, or they
I
feel that
understand.
needed?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the first thing to say is that meditation can be as simple as just taking a deep breath and um, um, kind of just being aware of being in a room and being in kind of an amazing place, an amazing world. But again, everybody has to find their own methodology. Now, for some people, it's better to move when they meditate. So it's better to take a walk out in nature. It's better to use a mindfulness walking practice, for example. It's better to do um, yoga or meditation. For some people, it's better to do a sit down meditation. For others, it's better to do some mindfulness exercises throughout the day, just as triggers or reminders of who we are. For other people, it's service to others, go and work in a soup kitchen or something and get a connection with other people. So everybody has to find their path, but there is a path for everybody, and everybody has a potential if they're interested and if they start kinda engaging with it and practicing. Because I think a lot of times people just don't do it long enough in order to begin to get the real benefit from it. Um, so try different techniques, explore different options, um, and find something that works for you where you kinda get a sense of a breakthrough in consciousness, because that's really what this is about. It's about consciousness training. It's about becoming aware of that, um, bigger version of yourself. So, whatever, floats your boat, um, and if it means trying different I studied religions for 20 years of different types and trying to pierce into, "Well, what was this person trying to say to me? What what was our, Krishna saying, What was Lao Tzu saying? What are these what is it that these people learned that I'd like to know about?" Um, and see, even in your own religion, whatever that is, see if you can't pierce into the mystical part of that religion, not the, rules part and the prescriptions part and all the, you know, mumbo jumbo sometimes it comes with religion, but s see if you can't explore, 'cause in every religion, there are mystics who themselves, um, uh, came to some understanding, wrote about it, and all it takes is one phrase that just sort of startles your mind into, um, a realization that there's something more than than is obviously, available to you.
Definitely, definitely. Wow, that was really, really, I think it couldn't be more convincing enough for all the people, including me as well, who think that, meditation is something which we can't do, or which is not for us.
No, just take a
So,
deep breath and just enjoy the moment. Simple. It's in some ways, you can also think of it as, silent prayer. So if your religion has prayer in it, don't talk to God, allow talk God to talk to you, you know? So it just kinda turns it around. It turns the conventional wisdom on its head.
because I think God is, even if we just think about God, I think God is within us. So let's just talk to ourselves, talk to our
To
God.
ourselves. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, to the ki to the higher consciousness part of ourselves. It's right there, and it's right there in your heart.
True, true. Beautiful, Blair. So, finally, if our listeners would wish to connect with you and also explore all of your books, including the new one, how
Yes.
can
Um, Probably the best way, would be just to go to my website, highcmeditation.com. It's HI capital C meditation.com, and you can get a free copy of my mindfulness book. You can just download it um, as an ebook. And then my other books are available, at Amazon Books, for anybody who wants to explore that. And you can get on my newsletter list, and I'll send you a weekly blog post about something related to things we talked about today.
we'll have all the details in the show notes.
Yes.
For us and Blair, thank you. Thank you for this absolutely insightful, enlightening, and mind exploring conversation. I think you have really given us so much to think, to introspect about, not just meditation as a practice, but a way of being, getting to know our inner being and navigate
Being. That's right. Beingness. Exactly.
great into something greater, because many of my guests, they have told, they just start the conversation that we are human beings, not human doers or doing. We are human beings.
Yes.
uh, to all of our listeners, to if you wish to connect with Blair and explore all his resources, including his mindfulness book and his blog post and everything, refer to the show notes along with this episode. And also, if today's conversation has connected with you and your inner being, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone uh, who will definitely get to learn so much around this. And I would like to leave a few questions before I wrap this up. So, uh, have you experienced moments of deep insight through meditation, listeners, or maybe do you struggle to quiet your mind? So, let's continue this discussion and take this conversation, this episode, as the first step to understand. And until next time, stay conscious, stay calm, curious, and also keep exploring the cosmos within yourself. And this is your host Sana signing off from the Cosmic Conscious. See you next time. Thank you.